You've lived long enough to see many things change. Televisions got flatter, phones got smarter, and food, well, food started pretending to be healthier than it really is. Take fish, for example. It wears a friendly face. It's sold to you as a healthy choice, but not all fish are your friend. Some of them look clean on the outside, but bring silent trouble on the inside. And for someone who's no longer 20, that hidden danger matters a lot more. You've worked hard, eaten well, and taken care of others for decades. Now your body's asking for a bit of help. With age, our systems slow down. The body doesn't flush out poison as fast. The brain isn't as sharp when chemicals creep in. Your bones are thinner, your heart beats a little slower, and your immune system doesn't fight like it used to. So when you eat the wrong kind of fish, even just once in a while, it's like inviting the enemy inside and handing over the key. You've probably never ordered shark at a fancy restaurant, but it shows up more than you think, sometimes disguised under different names. The problem: shark meat is loaded with mercury. These sea giants live long and eat other fish, so all the toxins from those meals pile up in their flesh over time. When you eat shark, you're getting a bite of every little fish it ever ate, and all the pollution that came with them. Mercury isn't something your body can just toss out. It stays. It hides in your nerves, slows your reaction time, messes with your memory, and increases the risk of heart problems, things that no one needs more of, especially later in life. So if someone tries to tell you shark is a delicacy, you can tell them, no thanks. I'm not feeding my brain to a toxic beast. With a name like King, you'd think mackerel would be fit for royalty, but this one, it's a silent troublemaker. Like sharks and swordfish, king mackerel is high in mercury, and while it may look fresh and tasty, it's not worth the risk. Mercury attacks quietly. You might not notice it at first, but over time, it can affect your thinking, make your hands feel shaky, and even cause hearing or vision changes. That's not aging. That's poison pretending to be dinner. Here's the worst part. King mackerel often ends up in dishes without being clearly labeled, so it sneaks in unless you're asking questions and reading labels. If a fish dish is cheap and has a strong flavor but no clear name, walk away. You've got enough wisdom to smell a bad deal when you see one. Swordfish looks impressive, a big fish with a bold taste. But don't let the size fool you. It's another heavyweight when it comes to mercury, and that sword it carries might as well be pointed at your health. Older adults are more sensitive to what they eat, even if they've always eaten it before. What your body could handle at 40 might be dangerous at 70. Swordfish can disrupt your memory, affect your balance, and increase your risk of heart disease. It might sit well at dinner, but it doesn't sit well with your nervous system. People sometimes order it at a nice restaurant, thinking they're doing something fancy, but you don't need to prove anything to anyone. You've earned the right to say, "That's not good enough for me." Tuna is a favorite for many people. It's easy to find, goes well in sandwiches, and sounds healthy. But here's what they don't always tell you. Not all tuna is created equal. The big ones like albacore and yellowfin swim deep and live long. That means they soak up more mercury over time. And when you eat them, you're getting a dose of something your body doesn't want or need. You may think, well, I've been eating tuna for years. But the truth is, our bodies change as we age. What we could handle at 30 or 40 might not sit so well at 70. Mercury doesn't just go away. It builds up in the brain, slows your thinking, and makes you tired for no good reason. Why risk it? If you still love tuna, go for light canned tuna and eat it only once in a while, not every day. Because even something that seems simple can slowly chip away at your health, one bite at a time. Now, salmon is often praised as a superfood, and wild salmon is full of good things like omega-3s. But most salmon at the store these days is farmed, and that's where the trouble starts. Farmed salmon are raised in crowded pens, not out in the wild. They're fed cheap food, stuffed with antibiotics, and often dye is added to make their flesh that nice pink color you see in the store. Yes, they actually dye it. Without the dye, it would look gray and unappetizing. That's the truth. And because they're living so close together, they can easily catch diseases, which means more chemicals are added to keep them alive. Now ask yourself, do you really want to eat a fish that's been swimming in its own mess, fed fake food and colored like a crayon? Especially when you're trying to stay sharp, active, and healthy. You've earned better. Wild salmon cost more, sure, But what's cheaper in the long run, spending a few more dollars now or paying for it with your health later? Catfish is another budget-friendly fish you'll see on menus and in stores. But when it comes from overseas, especially countries with loose safety rules, you've got to be careful. Some imported catfish come from dirty waters and are raised in ponds where fish are packed in tight. What do they eat? Sometimes rotten leftovers, sometimes chemical-filled pellets. These fish might be washed with banned drugs and pesticides just to make them look clean before shipping them off to your plate. It might be cheap, but the cost is real. Over time, those chemicals can upset your digestion, mess with your blood pressure, and put your immune system under stress. You're not a lab experiment. You shouldn't be eating fish raised like one. If you like catfish, buy the ones raised in the US, where the rules are stricter and the water is cleaner. You've come too far in life to settle for second-rate food. Let's be honest. You've spent your life taking care of others, family, work, responsibilities. You've earned your rest, and your health should be working for you, not against you. So why let shady fish slow you down? The food on your plate should be fuel, not poison. It should help you think clearly, move freely, sleep deeply, and live fully. Cheap fish, toxic fish, fake-colored fish, they steal all that quietly, slowly. And by the time you feel it, it's already done the damage. You've got memories to make, stories to tell, people who love you, and maybe even some dancing to do. So eat smart. Choose food that lifts you up, not drags you down, because you've still got living to do. And you deserve better than fish that take more than they give. We've covered a lot already, and I know you're thinking about what's really on your plate. But before you go, there are a few more fish to watch out for. These bonuses might not get as much attention, but they deserve it. If you found this useful, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share, because you deserve the truth. Number 1. Red snapper. Overfishing concern. Red snapper is a popular fish that's often found on restaurant menus or in grocery stores. However, its popularity has come at a significant environmental cost. Red snapper is heavily overfished in many parts of the world, with some species being pushed to the brink of extinction due to unsustainable fishing practices. Many fishers use bottom trawling, which damages marine ecosystems and catches a variety of non-targeted species. This puts the whole marine food chain at risk. While farmed red snapper may seem like an alternative, the majority of the red snapper available in markets is wild-caught, contributing to the problem. When choosing red snapper, it's essential to look for certifications like the Marine Stewardship Council (MSC) label, which ensures the fish comes from a sustainable and well-managed source. Always be mindful of where your food is sourced to ensure it's not contributing to the depletion of marine resources. Number 2. Carp, a potential health hazard. Carp is a fish that has been around for centuries, often associated with freshwater ponds and lakes. While it's a common fish in many parts of the world, it's one that should be consumed with caution. Carp tends to accumulate heavy metals, toxins, and pollutants from the water in which they live. They are bottom feeders, meaning they sift through sediment where contaminants like pesticides, heavy metals, and bacteria are prevalent. These toxins are stored in their fat, making them a potential health hazard, especially for people who eat them regularly. In addition, carp's high fat content can make these pollutants even more concentrated. In regions where water bodies are heavily polluted, carp can be particularly dangerous. If you're considering eating carp, it's crucial to ensure it comes from a clean, controlled environment and that it's been properly tested for toxins. Many environmentally conscious consumers avoid carp for these very reasons and opt for fish that have been raised or caught in cleaner, more regulated waters. Number 3. Grouper, a mercury risk. Grouper is a fish known for its mild flavor and meaty texture, making it a popular choice for a wide variety of dishes. However, this fish poses a significant health risk due to its high mercury content. Groupers, particularly those that are older and larger, accumulate mercury in their tissues over time. Mercury is a harmful toxin that can lead to serious health problems, especially for vulnerable groups like pregnant women, young children, and people with compromised immune systems. The problem arises because groupers are top predators in their ecosystems, which means they consume a variety of smaller fish that have already accumulated mercury. As a result, the toxin builds up in their bodies, a phenomenon known as biomagnification. If you're planning to eat grouper, it's advisable to consume it sparingly and seek out smaller, younger fish which tend to have lower mercury levels. Also, be mindful of the source, as fish from certain regions may have higher mercury concentrations than others. Number 4. Sea bass. Farmed is not the best. Sea bass is a popular fish in global cuisine, especially in Mediterranean dishes. However, when it comes to farmed sea bass, there are several issues to be concerned about. Farmed sea bass are often kept in crowded, confined spaces that make them more susceptible to diseases. To combat this, farmed sea bass are routinely treated with antibiotics, which can end up in the fish that consumers eat. Additionally, overcrowding in these farmed environments contributes to environmental degradation, as waste from the fish can pollute surrounding waters. Furthermore, the fish meal used to feed farmed sea bass often comes from unsustainable sources. While wild-caught sea bass may be a safer option in terms of health and environmental impact, even wild-caught sea bass faces pressures from overfishing. If you choose to eat sea bass, always look for certified sustainable sources such as those endorsed by the Aquaculture Stewardship Council, ASC, or other reputable environmental organizations to ensure that the fish was responsibly farmed or caught. Number 5. King crab. Unsustainable harvesting. King crab is often considered a luxury seafood item, celebrated for its sweet, tender meat. However, its harvest comes with serious environmental concerns. King crab populations, particularly in the North Pacific, have been severely overfished. Decades of unsustainable fishing have led to the depletion of crab stocks, making it a challenge for populations to recover. This problem is exacerbated by practices such as trawling, which destroys fragile marine ecosystems and disrupts the habitats of many species, including juvenile king crabs. In many areas, the demand for king crab continues to outstrip its availability, leading to an increased risk of extinction. Thankfully, some fisheries are moving towards more sustainable practices, and certifications such as the Marine Stewardship Council, MSC, label can help consumers choose responsibly harvested king crab. However, if sustainability is important to you, it's wise to research where your king crab comes from before purchasing, as many fishery stocks are still in a state of crisis. Sustainable alternatives include choosing other crab varieties or selecting king crab that has been certified as responsibly harvested. By understanding the environmental and health risks of these 5 fish, you're making better, more informed decisions about your seafood choices. It's always worth considering the sustainability of the fish you're consuming, as well as any potential health risks associated with them. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to stay updated on more insights and tips for making healthy, sustainable food choices.